Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Cork It podcast. My name is Kyle. I'm back here joined by
Dante Ellison.
Nico Genovese.
and we got a great episode in store for you guys. It's finally here. It's time for NBA basketball. Season starts on Tuesday. Rest of the teams will play on Wednesday that aren't named the Lakers, Sixers, Warriors, and Celtics. So go Thunder. Got repping today because it's finally here. And there's a lot to talk about. I know hockey season has started, NFL season has started, NBA season's getting ready to start. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So let's dive straight into it. Not much for around the league. If you watch the NFL games, you know crazy things like the Giants still finding ways to win. The Eagles remain undefeated. Lots of cool storylines going on there. Let's jump straight into this just to get the ball rolling. This might be a quicker episode, depending on couple factors, how long this camera stays alive and whatnot. But so let's jump straight into this. Let's go NBA season, right? We've got the NBA season coming up. Lots to talk about there. First off, tonight, or you guys will be seeing this on Tuesday. So you'll see the slate of games tonight. We've got Lakers versus Warriors later, and then the earlier game is the Celtics versus the Sixers. Real quick, though, you guys want to make picks for this game? These two games.
I got my Lakers against the Warriors. I think they're
My gosh.
I think they're gonna
Warriors coming off of a championship run, and you're gonna take the Lakers above them. All right.
I think Lakers are ready this season. They're hungry. Disappointing season last year, dealt with injuries, whatever drama in the management and coaching and all that. Got a new coach. AD and LeBron are back healthy. Russ is ready. Got my guy and the biggest dog in the NBA, Pat Bev. He's ready to explode in LA. I think it's gonna be a good game, but Lakers are ready, man. It's gonna be their year. Got Lakers.
And the first game, do you have a pick for that?
I got Philly. I got the Sixers. I think the Sixers are gonna be a scary team in the East this year. I think this is their year to really make it far in the playoffs. Eastern Conference. I think Joel's gonna have another typical Joel MVP type season. So I got Sixers, and James Harden apparently is in the best shape he's been in a while. So I'm kind of excited to see what he can do and to see if he can get back to somewhat prime James Harden form. So I got Sixers in that one.
Dante?
I got Warriors against the Lakers. Warriors coming off that championship. They just look unstoppable. Plus, the Lakers didn't look good at the end of the season last year. So, and then I also got the Sixers. I mean, I think Rob Williams is out for a couple weeks, so I don't know who's really gonna guard Joel and Harden. Harden took a team-friendly deal, so it seems like he really wants to win and is motivated. So I got the Sixers in that one.
Yeah, I'm going to go Celtics with that game one. Celtics just came off of their last game, other than preseason, would have been the finals against the Warriors. They're hungry. They're coming to prove that it's their time to step up and take a win against the Warriors. But I think take a win, you know what I'm saying, like not against the Warriors, but take a finals win this year. So I'm going to take the Celtics in that first game, and then I'm going to take the Warriors in that second game. I think they're ready to bounce back. Although I do hope that Russ has a bounce back season and the Lakers do well, but the way it's looking right now, it looks kind of rough.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
So real quick, I had a couple things I asked you guys to bring. We're going to talk about preseason. Not preseason, but we're going to talk about our preseason predictions so that we can lock them in now and see how correct or how off we were by the time April rolls around. So I think I listed a couple categories. So we're going to do champion, MVP, rookie of the year, and then I kind of want to do like most improved because I think that'll be a fun one. So we'll talk about those. So first off, let's talk about the champs. Predict it right now. Who do you think the 2023 NBA champions will be? Nico, you go start.
I'm gonna go Bucks. I mean, you saw how well the Bucks did in the playoffs. They took the Celtics to 7 games, and even without Chris Middleton, I mean, we all know what Giannis can do. He's gonna lead that team to a playoff run, and Chris Middleton can stay healthy. The Bucks are a very scary looking team, so I think the Bucks definitely got a good shot at winning it.
I like the Bucks too, but I'm gonna go with the Nets. I mean, the Nets are getting locked down. Ben Simmons, KD.
That's
He's
so
just
gross.
That
just
should be your
KD.
hot take, dude.
Kyrie's coming back for a full season, and I mean they have shooters like Seth, and I don't know Nick Claxton. He's not that good, but he'll get the job done. But they're a sleeper team, but they could go all the way.
Yeah, I like those both those picks. I definitely love the Bucks pick. I have them personally coming out of the Eastern Conference. I think they're gonna make a run. But my pick, and this is such a like hot take pick, but I think I'm gonna go Suns. And I know that the Suns have had like their struggles in the postseason this past year. But I mean, like, we also forget they were in the finals the year before that. They came out, made the Western Conference semis. They got stomped on by the Mavericks in the end, but that was a very back and forth series. They're going to be a scrappy team. And in my mind, this seems like one of Chris Paul's last seasons,
Yeah.
barring any like, him wanting to keep going. So I think that this is the year they're going to try and lay it all out on the table. They brought back in DeAndre Ayton. They've got Chris Paul. They've got Devin Booker. They've still got Mikal Bridges, who's improving. They've got Cameron Johnson, who's still improving. Like I said, I mean, DeAndre Ayton, he himself is even still improving. So I think I'm going to take the Suns, NBA champs. If not the Suns, then it's definitely going to be the Bucks. Just Giannis is a force to be reckoned with. I don't see them losing to any of these other teams in the East when healthy. I think if they were healthy this postseason, they'd also be in the finals and, in my opinion, probably have beaten the Warriors. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't see anyone taking down the Bucks anytime soon. Special shout-out, though, to the Celtics. I think they'll be back in running for it, and I think the Heat will be back in running in the postseason, pushing for that finals spot. Anyways, let's go MVP. I feel like we might have some similar picks here.
Yeah.
Nico, you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, I got typical two everyone's probably thinking about. I got Joel and Giannis up there. I think Joel's going to take it this year. I think he's just extra hungry for it because the past couple seasons he's been top three, but then lost to Giannis, lost to Jokic. Like, I think he's just tired of losing that MVP run. And again, like I said earlier, I think the Sixers are going to be a really good team in the East this year. So I think Joel's just he's got a hunger for it, and I think he'll take it this year.
I got Luka Doncic. Last year he averaged 28 points, 9 rebounds, near 9 assists. I mean, he doesn't have Jalen Brunson anymore, so he's more free, and it's just a baller. I mean, he's that whole team, took him to the 4 seed. And I just think he's going to have a MVP type season and maybe win it.
Yeah, I also have Luka, but here's the reason I pick him. And this is the beef that I have with the MVP award, is that it's almost picked before the season starts. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, like, I mean, they were saying Jokic from, like, day one, and they weren't giving any props to these guys like DeMar, or, in my opinion, I don't think Joel even had a shot, or Giannis even had a shot. Because the second they started saying Jokic, the NBA started pushing this narrative. This, like, oh, yep, Jokic, the most efficient player, blah, 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 blah. When they've never took efficiency or, like, those extra stats into account for MVP stuff. Yeah. And then this year they started. So I think that it's going to be Luka Doncic. But the reason I think that is because I think it's been predetermined that this is going to be the guy. They're like, look what he just did to the Suns. He's going to score a lot of points. He's going to get really high, stats and stuff like that, and lead a mediocre Mavs team to a 5 or 6 seed. We're going to give him the MVP, right? I think it's been predetermined that is going to be the way it goes. I would say the last time that an MVP award wasn't like predetermined that this guy is going to win it was, I think, when Giannis won it the first year. Because I think even when Giannis came in his second year, people were like still loving the Greek freak stuff, and for the NBA it was easy to push this narrative that was going to be the best player. But the reason I think it's going to be Luka is because I think that preseason, a lot of these guys are like, yeah, Luka's going to be that guy. Luka's going to be that guy. And if Luka goes and puts up the numbers he's put up the past 2 seasons, which has been, 28, 8, and 8 consistently, and he just puts that up for another season, they're going to give it to him. And I just feel like that's the way that it's going to play out. Because you could say something like, oh, I think Trae Young's going to have an incredible year and lead the Hawks to a top 3 seed in the East.
Yeah.
And if he puts up 30 and 10, leads them to a top 3 seed in the East, and Luka still does his 28, 8, and 8, and they're like a mid seed in the West, I still think Luka's going to get it because that's like the narrative that's being pushed right now. And so that's why I feel like there's not going to be any big standouts. I mean, obviously you want to say guys like, I think Joel Embiid's also going to be in the running for it because he like came in second this year and they want to see him win, right? So I think it'll be Luka or Joel, but I think for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I think with Joel, it's going to be kind of a James Harden situation where James Harden, before he won it, was James should have won it this year. James should have won it this year. He has the stats. And Joel's been, like you just said, close the past couple of years. So I think it's going to be that narrative where it's like, okay, let's finally give it to Joel.
I think my hot take is that I don't think James Harden should have won an MVP. Like, I think LeBron should have won his. And I really get annoyed when people are like, Russell Westbrook didn't deserve his MVP. Because I'm like, if you're breaking records like that have stood for so long, I feel like you have to give it to him, which is the reason I'm like, all right, I'm fine with the first Jokic MVP, right? You want to talk about advanced metrics and all that stuff, give him the MVP. The reason I wasn't as high on the back-to-back is they're like, well, now that we're talking about advanced metrics, look who still has the best. And it was just, all right, we get it, right? He's got great metrics. He's got the great advanced stats that we just now started looking at. Like, they just started changing, the idea of what an MVP is to these advanced metrics. And they're like, well, look who still has the best ones. And they, like, gave it to him. So the reason I was fine with the first Jokic MVP was like, all right, yeah, he had a great season. The reason I was, like, iffy on the second one is I was like, all right, come on. It just felt like a little bit of a reach. And I also feel like I think Joel should have won it last year for what they did in the regular season versus what the Nuggets did in the regular season. But, I mean, that's besides the point. A guy who I would love to see win it, Paul George.
Yeah.
I think he has an opportunity to, like, explode with this Clippers team. I mean, they've never really been healthy, but this is their chance for them to, like, get back healthy, like, win a bunch of games in the regular season. I think Paul George has a chance to be that guy, depending on how Kawhi plays. If Kawhi comes out and does his thing, I think it'll be hard to win the MVP with another, like, top 10 player on your team. So I think that'll be difficult. And then I think Jason Tatum, I would love to see him win it this year. I think he's going to put up the stats. It's all up to what the record stands at the end of the year. But I think I would like to see Tatum or a guy like Paul George win it, but I think it'll be a guy like Luka or Joel. So... All right, let's go. We did MVP, we did champion. Let's do Rookie of the Year. So the Rookie of the Year race is pretty interesting. We've seen guys like Chet Holmgren already been out for the year. It seems almost like there's like one big name that people are like saying over and over again. It's the number one pick. But I want to hear your guys' takes on this to see if they differ.
I mean...
Because I have an interesting pick for mine.
I low-key want to say Jaden Ivey. I think he has a pretty good shot. I like the type of player he is. I think he's in a decent situation. And I think because, again, like the big name with Paolo, like especially with Chet out, you'd expect everyone to see him win. But I think Jaden Ivey is going to be a quote-unquote sleeper that not a lot of people are thinking about.
Right.
And I think he'll have a really good rookie season. I think he'll be up there for the running.
I'm gonna go with Keegan Murray.
Dang, that was my pick. I thought I was special.
He played really good at Iowa. I mean, I didn't watch much of him in the preseason, but I saw him like knock down like six or seven like threes, right? In like the preseason.
Yeah, that was in the summer league.
Yeah, or summer league, and I just feel like he has the potential to be a really big star in this in the league. So I have him winning Rookie of the Year.
I also have Keegan Murray winning Rookie of the Year, but it's for different reasons than that. I don't think Keegan Murray is going to be a star in this league. I don't think that at all. I don't think he's going to come out and have like an all-star level season and be the superstar that the Kings are waiting for. I think he's going to have a solid career as a starter. I'm looking at, and I think he's going to be a difference maker, right? I'm looking at guys like Buddy Hield when he was in like his quote unquote prime, right? Or other guys that will average like 20 a game but never get the All-Star nod. I think he'll be a guy like that. However, I do think that right now he is the most pro-ready guy. I think he's on a team with the most to prove, right? I think that the Kings right now, they made all these moves. They traded their future away for Sabonis, a win now move. I think this is going to be the chance for the Kings to just win now. And I think Keegan Murray is going to be a vital part in that. And I think that he's going to be getting a lot more looks to be, the new guy coming in. He's going to be potentially, I think he's going to be the third option on that team. You go Fox, Sabonis, Keegan Murray. And if he plays any way like he did in the summer league or anything like that, he's going to be the front runner, in my opinion, for MVP. Or not MVP, for Rookie of the Year. Because I think Paolo Banchero is going to do his thing in Orlando, right? And I think Jabari Smith Jr. actually won't have a great rookie season. Yeah. I mean, a lot of Rockets rookies have dealt with this for the first half of the season. They struggle fitting into the new system. Second half, they'll do a lot better. Mm-hmm. And it's part of the reason I don't think Jalen Green should have gotten all rookie first team last year, is because they basically just ignored his whole first half of the season, which was full of missed shots and turnovers and bad efficiency and not really fitting well on that team. And then second half of the year, you're right, he did turn it up, but I think that he shouldn't have gotten all rookie first team for his last 3 months of basketball. I think a similar thing will happen with Jabari Smith. I think he's going to come in, have a rough couple months fitting into this new system, especially with this young Rocket system. They're going to be fast. They're going to shoot a lot, and I think he's going to miss a lot, and he's going to have a poor efficiency to start. And then I think second half of the year, he's going to get more comfortable in the system. He's going to get more comfortable in an NBA role, and he's going to look a lot better. I don't think it's going to be enough to win Rookie of the Year, though, and I think Keegan Murray is going to look the most solid over the longest period of time. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why he's probably going to win Rookie of the Year. And that's why it's my pick. All right, let's do I also want to shout, or I'll do this for my hot take. All right, let's do most improved player. I want to hear these.
All right, I got kind of two picks. My main one is Zion.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zion finally come back. Would you consider that most improved or not, because he hasn't really played a lot with injuries?
You can make the take. Oh,
I would say yes, because
I'm gonna say no.
Why would you say no?
The only reason I'm saying that, I don't think Zion Williamson can win.
Most improved is a full season and then a full season of better stats. Is that why you're saying most improved?
I'm gonna say I'm also gonna say that because in my opinion, I think that it's hard to say most improved when he's been in the league as long as he has. You know what I'm saying? I feel like for most improved, you have to have it's got to be your second or third year in the league. I think Zion's going in on year 4?
4. I mean, he's
going on year 4.
His job.
He's gotten a bunch of injuries, so I think it's hard to gauge. Because the other thing too is if you look at him pre-injury, he was averaging 28 and 7 on really high efficiency. So if you think he's going to do much better than that,
I think he will.
So you think he's going to be 35 points a game?
Not 35 points a game.
Well, what stat line do you think he's doing? Because before he got hurt, his stat line was 28 and 7 on high efficiency.
I think it'll still be around. I think it'll be 30, 31. I don't think it'll be as 35.
You think Zion's gonna be a 31 point per game scorer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Zion, I think just the way Zion plays is, and I've always been a huge fan of Zion, but you saw what he was doing when he was before injury. So, I mean, now that he's coming back, he's healthy.
Do you think he
looks in great shape? I think he's going to be up there.
Do you think any of that injury is going to play into the way he plays?
Mm-mm. I mean, I kind of saw a glimpse of him in the preseason when he was playing a little bit, and it didn't really look like he was that affected. I mean, we all see the social media clips and everything. He still has his balance, even though he had a foot injury and all that. But I think again, I get what you're saying with it's his 4th year, so most improved is technically second and third year players. But
yeah.
Because he hasn't been playing, I think most improved would go to Zion.
So I'm going to come back and say this. So Zion, his stats were 27 points, 7 rebounds, just shy of 4 assists a game with 61% shooting. Yeah. I think it is almost I'm not going to say impossible, but I'm going to say it's very, very hard, I think, for him to make a jump significant enough to get the praise for most improved. Because I'm going to say Ja winning most improved was interesting because Ja Morant, I mean, people were like, well, he took that team, and we talked about this last year. He was like, well, he took that team to the he won the first play-in game, took him to the playoffs and all that stuff. If you look at the stats, he averaged 19 a game. Yeah. And then he came out, and I think last year he averaged, 27 a game? Yeah. So there was a jump, right? So unless you're going to tell me that Zion's going to average 35 a game, I'm not ready to be like, that's a big enough jump for most improved. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's going to be able to improve much more than he has to, get that most improved thing. I think he'd be a great comeback player. I think
Zion definitely does have, I think he can have the ability to drop that near 35 points a game. But with the way the NBA's awards and everything go, like you said, they're kind of biased. I low-key think they might not be looking at how much did he improve when he had his half a season his first year. I think
it was more than half a season.
I think they're going to look at it as, he hasn't played for the past, season and a half or something.
Yeah.
Because of injuries, and now he's back and performing near similar numbers. That's most improved in my eye.
That makes sense. I'm going to say this about NBA awards. I feel like it's MVP is the one that they set the narrative for. The rest of them are all up for grabs. Because I don't think I've ever seen one where they pick a guy before the game or before the season starts and this guy's winning this award. I think MVP is the only one that you see more of a narrative being pushed. Yeah. I'm going to say the reason I disagree with the Zion pick is I don't think he's going to, I think that it'll be hard for you to be like, yeah, the most improved player is a guy that came off of injury and just put up the same stat line. Because I think the other thing, too, is people are expecting Zion to come in and put up 27 a game. Yeah. They're expecting him to come back and be the same guy that was breaking efficiency records and doing X, Y, Z. I'm going to have to turn on my camera here. I think that he's going to be the guy that is going to come in and people are going to expect a lot from him. So that's why I don't think that he's going to come in, put up 30, and then get all this praise for being super improved. I think this is almost expected of him to come back for. Yeah. You said you had Zion as well. You want to share your case?
Well, I didn't really. I mean, I was between two people. I was between Zion and Tyrese Maxey. Mm-hmm. Hearing you go through, I kind of agree, he's not going to make a huge jump to wow everyone and be like, yo, he should win most improved. So I'm probably going to change mine to Tyrese Maxey. I mean, he looked good last year. He averaged 17.5 points per game, and I feel like alongside James Harden, Joel, he can increase that points per game by a lot. So I have him.
I'm going to take Tyrese Halliburton for my most improved. I think, you already saw from the 51 games he played. So he just got traded last year, middle of the season. He got traded to the Pacers from the Kings. And you can already see, if you take a look at the stats, the 51 games he played for the Kings, 14 points, around 7.5 assists, decent shooting numbers, 45% from the field, 41% from three-point. And then he went on to play in Indianapolis, where now he's the guy. He's their future. And he played 26 games there. He jumped his field goal percentage up 5% within just the change. So he shot 50% from the field. And then he went and scored 17.5, so a 3-point per game jump, and a 2 assists per game jump. He's now averaging just less than 10 at 9.6. Yeah. And I think he's going to come out for the Pacers and do exactly that. I think he's going to be a 24 and 10 type of guy for the Pacers this next season. I think he's going to be the main guy. He's going to come in, do main guy things, and I think he's going to be warranted the most improved player this next season. I think it's gonna be set up for him to win it. I think it's his to lose. The other guy I do have that I just want to shout out, and this might be a bit of a biased take, but I think Josh Giddey's going to improve a lot from what he did last year. So just to kind of give you an idea of what Josh Giddey did. He got hurt towards the end of the season, went out for the second half. But if you take a look at his rookie year stats, he played 54 games before getting hurt, and he averaged 12, 7, or just under 8 rebounds, 6 assists, on not so great efficiency. I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm going to like look up what his efficiency numbers were. So he shot like 25% from three, 41% from the field, which is not good by any means. Like there's so much room for improvement. But the Thunder they just hired a new shooting coach that has been working with the team all offseason. They've been working with Josh Giddey specifically. They've been working with other guys specifically to get their three-point shot right. And his shot's looking a lot smoother. He shot like 50% from three, I think, in preseason, maybe just around that. I think that barring any major injuries, I would say that he's going to play a full season, and he's going to have this, 15, 8-8 type of season. Like, I think he's going to get a lot more looks. I mean, he's a rookie, averaging 6.5 assists. Yeah. Like, that's super impressive. I don't think people realize how difficult that is as a rookie. I think if he gets his shooting efficiency up, I think he's going to get a couple more points per game. He's going to get a couple more assists per game. He probably stay around the same with rebounds. I think if he has a season where he averages 16, 17 points per game with 8-8, I think that's enough of a jump to win Most Improved. However, I think that if Tyrese does his thing in Indianapolis, it's almost hard to take it away from him, if that makes sense. So those are all our picks for that. Season starts tomorrow, so we'll see how correct or incorrect we are with all of this stuff going on. Thunder play their first game on Wednesday, so I'm excited to see that. SGA should be playing. That's another factor too. Is if SGA comes back healthy this year, he's gonna have himself an amazing year. I think he'll be like a first-time All-Star type of year. I think he'll be great, but that would slow down some of Josh Giddey's improvement stat-wise, because I think like SGA is gonna be the main dude versus where like Josh Giddey, if SGA gets another injury or takes time off, I think Josh Giddey is going to have the keys to the offense, and that's when you're going to see that assist per game ramp up rapidly. So those are my picks for that. All right, let's go NFL real quick. All right, let's talk NFL. So this past week, we've seen a lot happen. We saw a lot of good wins, a lot of great games, a lot of bad losses. I mean, that Thursday night football game was abysmal. It's terrible. Commanders, Bears. I don't know what it is. Ever since the switch to Amazon, they do not know what they are doing these Thursday night games. Like, I'm just looking at the schedule, and I'm like, I don't think they scheduled a single good Thursday night game. No. And I thought it was hilarious. Excuse me. I thought it was hilarious how the NFL was, like, tweeting stuff like, praying for a touchdown or us manifesting a touchdown. And the people were like, dude, you guys scheduled the game. You picked the game. You picked Commanders versus Bears for this Thursday night. Why are you now upset that there's no touchdowns being scored? So I thought that was interesting. Another cool stuff was we saw a lot of upsets. Falcons beat the 49ers. Jets beat the Packers. Jaguars almost beat the Colts, which is technically an upset. We saw the Giants beat the Ravens. The Giants are 5-1 now. Steelers beat the Bucks.
Go Steelers.
Yeah, so it was a pretty cool game. Seahawks beat the Cardinals, which I don't know if you can call an upset. Yeah. Maybe. I don't think they were expected to win that game, but they did. Bills-Chiefs game, did it live up to the hype? What do you guys think?
I mean, I predicted the wrong winner, but I predicted it was come down to a last drive, and I mean, it was 24-20, I think was the final score or something. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think that's going to be a AFC Championship matchup this year, so I thought it not as high scoring as I would have liked to see. Like, I was really hoping for like just an offensive battle, just really high scoring. But I mean, it was a good game to watch, and I'm glad it was close. And I think again that's going to be a future for AFC Championship matchup. So
I definitely agree with that. There, Dante, did you think it lived up to the hype?
I do. I mean, everyone thought it was going to be an offensive battle, and then everyone got shocked when they're not. Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen aren't throwing for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. So it's good to see like the defense getting a little credit and putting only 44 points up. But yeah, I thought the Chiefs were going to win this one, but like Nico said, it came down to the last minute. So
yeah, it was definitely, I think it did live up to the hype. I do think that it was a close-fought battle. I was happy to see the Bills take that. I think they wanted that win. Stephon Diggs went off in that game. Oh, my gosh. 10 receptions, just under 150 yards, 1 touchdown. Crazy game from him. Eagles remain undefeated, which is a lot of fun. So we've got these scores from next week. First of all, any thoughts on what's happening right now?
Tua's coming back, baby.
Oh, okay.
Steelers in trouble.
All to lose to the Steelers.
Steelers in trouble. No, but I want to say one thing. It's about my Dolphins. I can give all the excuses I want about how we lost 3 straight games because we've had a different quarterback finishing the game than when we started.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a mess with the quarterback situation. O-line's been banged up. It's been awful. Cornerback's banged up. But I just want to give a shout out to our coaches because we've been in the 3 games we've lost with backups at a lot of positions. And I just feel like last year with our coaching staff, we would have been getting killed if we didn't have Tua in there and we had third-string rookies and backup corners and all that. So I was looking at an upside of our losses with just Mike McDaniel as our head coach. And I just think what he's doing, especially with Tyreek Hill too, it's giving me hope that we are still in these games that we probably should have got killed in with all these backups. So I'm excited for our coaching staff in the future, and Steelers are in trouble, bud.
All right. Well, do you have anything you want to add, or do you want me to jump into the picks for next week?
I mean, there's not much to add. I mean, Tua's coming back. He's obviously better than Skylar Thompson and Teddy Bridgewater, but Steelers win games they're not expected to win. Like the Bucs game. They were expected to win against the Jets. They lost to the Jets. They weren't expected to win against the Bucs. They won against the Bucs. Are they expected to win against the Dolphins? No. I'm just saying. And
Right,
Money Mitch is QB1.
Money Mitch is garbage.
All right. Let's jump into these. All right. Let's go Thursday night, Saints Cardinals. Who you got?
I got Cardinals. I think the big problem with the Saints is their quarterback play. It has not been up to par. And
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Okay, never mind. I'll say that when I make my point.
Okay, but I think Cardinals gonna get it. It's at Arizona, so I think they're gonna prevail over the Saints. And isn't Deshaun coming back too? I mean, not Deshaun, DeAndre.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Kyler will have his wide receiver 1 back too, so that's gonna be hopeful.
Dante.
I'm going to go with Saints. Arizona just lost Marquise Brown to potentially season-ending injury. He was a big part of their offense. I mean, their running backs are depleted too. And Kyler's just hasn't looked like himself. So I think Jameis maybe come back this week. Same with Michael Thomas, and Kamara's getting going. And their defense we know what they can bring. So I got the Saints in this one.
I'm also going to take the Saints with this one, and here's why. I don't know if you watched any of that Bengals-Saints game. Andy Dalton almost beat the Bengals.
Because the Bengals aren't that good.
He had the ball in his hands, and you saw that pass interference, that no call. It was horrible. They would have won that game. But he had a touchdown, 160-some yards, solid play for a backup coming in. I mean, Andy Dalton hasn't played a game, since he was on the Bears? Or was it earlier on the Saints?
I think the Cowboys.
Cowboys. He has, granted, he hasn't started a game in a while, right? Came in. I don't even know if he technically started this game because of Taysom Hill. Yeah. But the Saints have, even without Jameis, they've been competitive with teams that are above average. All right. We're going to be okay, the Bengals aren't the same team they were last year. Fine. They're still a decent team, right? The week before that against the Seahawks, the Seahawks, right, you were looking at them for preseason, you're like, oh, they're bad. Well, they're still a good team now. I'm going to take the Saints over them. And Marquise Brown, probably out for the year. That's hurt. That's going to hurt their wide receiver core. Yeah, they're getting DeAndre Hopkins back, but
they just traded
for Robbie Anderson, who hasn't had an above-average season since 2020.
It's been a while.
I'm going to take the Saints. All right. And I'm looking at this slate of games. These are kind of rough games. I feel like every week we look at games and it's all right, let's do this one. Lions Cowboys. Because we know the Lions. We know the Lions started off the season with a very high-powered offense, and we look at the Cowboys, and they got Cooper Rush, who has been winning them games up until the Eagles, and even then they came back. They were pretty close towards the end.
Dak's playing this week.
Is Dak playing this week? Okay, well then this is a dumb pick for us. I forgot he was coming back.
Yeah, he's coming back. I got the Cowboys.
Anyone not going to pick the Cowboys?
Come on, Nico.
Are you going to
be
pick the
different.
Lions?
No.
Be different.
All right, so I guess we're all picking Cowboys.
Yeah.
I forgot Dak was coming back this
Yeah.
week. I was still thinking Cooper Rush
I
was
mean,
the guy.
there's a competition for quarterbacks in Dallas.
No,
so, I mean,
no, it's
we'll
not
see.
even a not even a
Um,
debate anymore.
Jeez, these are rough games. All right, Giants, Jaguars.
I got Giants.
Jaguars.
You got Jaguars?
I think the Giants are surprisingly good this season. I think a lot of people are still like, oh yeah, they're 5-1, but they're still not it.
Right.
But I mean, they had good back-to-back wins against
Mhm.
the Packers and now the Ravens. So I mean, I think they're on a hot streak. I think they're going to continue that hot streak and beat Jacksonville. So I think they're going to move to 6-1.
I have Jacksonville. I mean, I'm one of those people that don't think the Giants are all that yet. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is playing much better than he did last year. He's just progressing every week. ETN's getting going. Christian Kirk is slowly getting back to where he was the first 2 weeks. I don't know much about their defense, but I feel like they can pull off an upset here.
I'm also taking the Jaguars, and it's funny that you mentioned upsets. The Jaguars are actually favored by 3 points in this game.
Yeah.
So I think Trevor Lawrence is playing a better season than he did last year, surprising people. I think that this is their chance for like a statement win. I think they took a tough loss to the Colts last week that they should have won, in all honesty. They had a tough loss to the Texans. But before that, they were beating teams like the Chargers and having close one-possession games against the Eagles, who are undefeated still. So I'm going to take the Jaguars. I think this is the chance in Jacksonville for the Jaguars to get a win. All right, and then let's do 2 more. We'll go Ravens-Browns.
I got the Ravens. I mean,
That's not even.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take...
Ravens are just gonna.
I
think
think
it's gonna be a game.
in Baltimore, I think Ravens are taking out. Although the Ravens did just come off of a tough loss to the Giants, but other than that, the Ravens' other 2 losses are to really good teams. So I'm gonna take the Ravens on that. It's Baltimore 6.5. I think they'll cover as well.
Yeah.
Especially that the Browns just got whooped on by the Patriots.
Yeah.
I got the Ravens
Um,
as well, too.
Ravens as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same reasons.
I want to do like an interesting matchup, but these all seem like
The only-
blowouts. Here, let's do this one.
Sunday Night Football.
Oh, well, I'm going to talk about that one at the end, but would you want to do your picks for Chiefs 49ers or Jets Broncos?
Chiefs 49ers.
Niners.
Chiefs Niners. All right, let's see them.
I got Chiefs. I mean, again, Patrick Mahomes is playing really good. They did come off a pretty close loss to the Bills, but I don't know. I don't think the Niners will be able to keep up. Isn't their defense a little banged up right now? Even if it's not, I think Patrick Mahomes will just
Eviscerate.
he'll take care of business.
Jeez, Patrick Mahomes has 17 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I got the Chiefs as well. I think the 49ers will cover, though. I mean, their defense.
The line is 3. KC -3.
I still think they'll cover.
I do not think they're covering that. I'm sorry. I do not think there is a world.
No,
we
the
live in.
49ers.
The 49ers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 49ers will not cover that.
I think they will.
You think they'll lose by 3 or less?
Yeah. Or win the game.
Okay.
I don't
Their
think
defense?
I don't think there's a planet we live on, or I don't think there's a single reality that exists in which the 49ers lose by less than 3.
How?
I just don't think there is. I just feel like the Chiefs are going to come in and eviscerate them. Like, I don't feel like this is going to be a close game.
Okay.
I think the Chiefs are going to win by double digits.
No.
I strongly believe that.
Okay.
The Chiefs are coming off of a loss to like arguably the best team in football. And now they're going to come against a 3-3 team who just came off of a loss to the Falcons by 2 touchdowns.
I think I said the Kansas City Chiefs will win, but I think the 49ers can make it close.
You
And
think they'll
possibly-
lose by 3 or less?
Yes, they could.
All right.
All right.
That's fine. I would not put money on that.
Probably not going to. But
All right. And then
it's just my thinking.
let's do the one we've all been waiting on, Sunday Night Football. We got Dolphins versus Steelers. Let's hear the
you already know
takes.
who I'm going with. I got my Miami Dolphins. Again, Tua's coming back. The 3 games Tua played in before he got hurt, he was lighting up the NFL. Best 3 games of his career, was being looked at in like early weeks, one of the top quarterbacks in the league. He was playing phenomenal. Even with him being out, he's outperforming Mitch, even when he was out 3 straight weeks, because Mitch is not good. Dolphins' run game has surprisingly been decent the past couple weeks, even with their O-line struggles. It's good to see Raheem Mostert kind of pick back up where he left off in San Francisco, and it's good to see that. And then, I mean, Tyreek Hill has just been a monster. And then if you try to double Tyreek Hill, you got Jalen Waddle there. So I think Dolphins are going to take care of business here in Miami.
What's the line for
Dante
this
agrees. Dante's got
The
Miami.
line is Miami by 7.
game? Miami by 7?
Miami by 7.
Oh, Steelers are covering that.
Okay. With what offense?
Steelers
With
money
what offense?
line.
With what offense?
I think the Steelers pull this off.
All right.
Like I said earlier, they're not expected to win this game.
Yeah.
It's the Steelers' way. Mitch has a fire under him. He has nothing to lose. His starting job is out the window. If Kenny Pickett can't play this week, he has nothing to lose. He's slinging it on your defense.
Okay.
The defense is getting to Tua.
Yeah.
Tua will be nervous that Cam Hayward's coming after him.
All
I
right.
got Steelers by 14.
By 14.
Steelers by 14.
Steelers by 14.
You're
I would take
fried,
Steelers plus 14. Like, I think you would
Steelers
cover that.
minus 14.
You're
George
fried.
Pickens
You're fried,
is
bud.
going to Moss.
You're fried, bud.
Xavier Howard.
Okay.
Claypool legacy game.
I'm going to take the Dolphins. I think the Steelers cover. I think it'll be closer than people think. I think they'll lose by a touchdown or less. I don't think that's blasphemous to say. I mean, they just came off beating the Buccaneers. Steelers are going to beat teams this year that they aren't supposed to, and I think that it'll make this a close matchup. I think it'll probably be one of the better Sunday night games. I mean, this past week we had a pretty nice Eagles-Cowboys game. I think we're in for a pretty nice Steelers-Dolphins matchup. I think it'll be a close game. No matter who plays for the Steelers at quarterback, Mitch or Kenny, I think both of them have their upsides. Both of them definitely have their weaknesses and downsides. Mm-hmm. So it should be interesting nonetheless, whoever plays. But I'm going to take Dolphins, but I think the Steelers will make it a closer game. All right, let's go into hot takes. Real quick, we got a couple to react to. Since I'm going to go off and say a bunch of these, we won't necessarily go like deep into them because I did put something out on our Instagram today telling people to swipe up and give us their hot take. So this first one comes from Cass Monchek. I believe Dante knows him.
Yeah.
His hot take was that Kenny Pickett will win a league MVP at some point in his career.
Dude is fried out of his mind.
How?
I don't like it. I don't
gone.
like it.
He's on something, dude.
I don't-
He's on so many perks right now. There's no way Kenny Pickett is winning a league MVP in 5 years. He's not even going to come close.
He said in his career.
I think he said within 5 years.
In his career.
Even career, he's not even going to come close.
I think it's hard for us to gauge because Kenny Pickett has played so few games. We haven't really seen his potential come through. However, I think it'll be tough for him just given the amount of talent that young QBs, like how much young QBs have, like high talent and high ceilings. I mean, Justin Herbert hasn't won an MVP yet, right?
Yeah.
So when is it his turn to win one, right? He's still going to have to
Not
play.
before Kenny.
He's still going to have to play his entire career with Patrick Mahomes dominating at high level. Patrick Mahomes is not old, right? And to think, I mean, Aaron Rodgers just won back-to-back MVPs, and he was in his upper 30s, right? So how long is Patrick Mahomes going to have? How long is Josh Allen going to have to win MVPs back over and over and over again? So I think it's going to be tough because given that the MVP award is such a QB-heavy award, I think it'll be tough for him at his position to be one of the best, given how many young QBs with high-level talent there are.
Unless the Steelers make the absolute best money moves in NFL history to get him good receivers, good tight ends.
He
good running
has
backs.
good receivers.
I think the Steelers need to have like a 15-2. I think the Steelers need to have a 15-2 season with him as quarterback for him to win.
And that's not happening.
I don't know the next team to go 15-2, dude. That's very rare.
Or 14-3. Or no, 14 and what is it now? Is
14-3.
14-3.
17 games.
I'm just saying, if we get more O-line, some cornerbacks, I could see a 13-4 season.
I'm not saying that I completely disagree with it because it's hard for us to gauge that idea, but I am going to say I think the odds are stacked against him.
I agree with that.
Okay, next hot take. You can guess who this one's from. The New England Patriots will finish 11-6 and make the playoffs.
This year?
This comes from Mark. And
that is hilarious.
Hold on, before I respond to it, I want to look at the Patriots' schedule because the Patriots did just come off of back-to-back wins. I mean, they trounced the Lions, trounced the Browns, right?
They are looking pretty good.
Here's their upcoming schedule. They play Bears Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Then they play the Raiders, who are not anything special. They play the Bengals, who you've said yourself aren't the best team.
Frauds.
Then they'll play the Dolphins, which I think will be a loss. They'll play the Bills. I think that'd be a loss. Oh, wait, no, I'm going back. Am I going back?
You're going down.
Oh, I'm way down. I'm going way down. Sorry.
Bears, Jets, Colts,
So we got Bears Monday night. Then they play the Jets, which, in my opinion, Jets might win, might lose, toss-up game.
Yeah.
Colts are not great. Jets again, toss-up game. Vikings, I think they might lose that to Vikings. We'll see.
They're looking good.
Mm-hmm.
They got Bills.
Loss.
Cardinals are not that great.
Cardinals can have a...
They could have a good game. They could have a horrible game.
Yeah, exactly.
Raiders, already talked about this. I'm not high on the Raiders.
That could be an up and down game.
Could be an up and down game. Bengals, you said yourself.
Not the best team.
Dolphins, probably loss. Bills, probably loss. So I think we counted probably 3 certain losses, and the rest are winnable games for the Patriots.
What are they right now?
I think
they're 3-3.
I think it's going to be something, again, like all teams do in NFL. We just talked about the Steelers. The Dolphins have the same unlucky habits. They're going to lose a game they should have won.
Right.
I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just going to throw out teams.
Yeah.
Somehow they could have a bad game against the Bears. Never know. Never know. Cardinals, again, up and down.
Up and down. I also think the Jets are very up and down because
Even
I feel
they
like
them twice.
the Jets played incredible defense against the Packers.
We talked about it earlier, and with all my bad smack talking about the Jets surprisingly are looking pretty good. I'm not going to say they're an elite team. I'm not even going to say they are a very good team. But they are looking stronger than they have in the past, and I think that could give the Patriots some struggles.
I agree.
So I wouldn't even say the Jets are guaranteed right now.
It got to go both ways, though, then. Like, they could upset the
Right.
Dolphins.
They could upset the Dolphins. They could upset the Vikings.
But I'm saying right now,
I think looking at the rest of their schedule, I'm going to say that this isn't an outlandish take, but I do think that everything does have to go right for them for this to happen. I think everything has to go right for them for this to happen.
Because how many teams in a division can make it?
Is it
as many?
It's as many, but what is there? Is there 2 wild card spots or 3? There's 3 now, right?
Because, again, if he's talking playoffs...
Because there's 3 wild card spots right now, right? Because they added an extra.
Yeah.
So you can have the division winner and then the AFC East. You could have all 4 technically make it, but you'd have to win all 3
wild card
spots.
If he's talking playoffs, again, I'm going to throw out my Dolphins. Their remaining schedule is not... Again, it's kind of similar. It's not strong. Steelers, I'm sorry, they're not looking good. Lions, again, not looking good. Bears, Browns, Texans. And then we have Jets again.
Playing the NFC North this year helps.
Yeah.
Because you'll play the Lions and the Bears.
And again, like, we have similar games like Chargers and Niners are kind of like, not exactly, but kind of like Cardinals and Raiders. They could have a very good game. They could have a bad game. So I just think playoff-wise, again, me and Mark, we are very biased towards our teams. So me being a biased Dolphins fan, I don't see Patriots going 11-6. I don't see them making the playoffs. But that's because Dolphins are looking really good with Tua. Dolphins also have kind of a weak remaining schedule. And I think Dolphins are getting that 2 spot in the division. And, I mean, again, we'll see what happens. But a lot of things have to go right for the Patriots for them to make the playoffs.
All right, let's do last one, and then we could do our own hot takes and then get out of here because we're kind of running long. So last one comes from Andrew Poon, who says Clemson is extremely overrated and would get blown out by a top SEC/top Big Ten team.
I kind of agree with that.
I agree with that. I haven't seen enough from Clemson that gives me this idea that they're a top 4 team, top 5 team in the country.
What are they ranked now?
I think they're 5.
Okay.
Let me double check on that.
I agree with that though.
I think you take a look at they're 5 right now. You take a look at their schedule. There's a couple decent wins, but they're all close, right?
Mm-hmm.
Against NC State, 10-point game. Against Wake Forest, who at the time was ranked 21, but if you look at them now, I mean, they're 5-1 still. Only lost to Clemson. They're 13th now.
Yeah.
So at the time, Wake Forest was 21, right? This is another ranked team. They won by 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got, games that they normally would win by 50 some, 41-10 against Georgia Tech, 35-12 against Furman, 48-20 against Louisiana Tech. So they're getting the job done, right? But then they've got this Florida State game.
Yeah.
And they won by 6 against a 4-3 Seminoles team who just took 3 straight losses. Granted, those losses were to NC State and Wake Forest, but at the same time, you got to look at this team and be like, is this a top 5 team in the country? Would they hold their own against Tennessee? Would they hold their own against Alabama? Would they hold their own against Ohio State?
I don't think they would.
I don't think they do. Dante?
No, I agree. I mean, in the past they've looked more dominant than they do this year. I don't necessarily think 5 is a good place for them. I feel like they should be through like 7-10 range, but I wouldn't call them like super overrated, but they're definitely not a top 5 team.
I agree. All right, let's do our own hot takes and then get out of here because we're going long.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to just go. Didn't really come prepared, so I'm just going to throw one out where that's going to be outlandish. But going back to basketball season starting, I think Lakers finish, I'll say 4 in the West.
Yikes.
They'll be the 4th seed in the West.
That's crazy.
Comeback season for Russ. Healthy
That's
LeBron and AD, new
absurd.
coach. It's coming, baby.
And as a believer in Russell Westbrook, I'm still going to say that's absurd.
It's coming.
All right,
It is.
Dante.
I have Kyrie Irving as a top 4 point guard in the NBA
Right now?
right now.
I'm not going to respond.
Just saying.
I'm going to take my Thunder take. Jalen Williams, pick 13, or no, 12. Was he picked 12? I believe he was picked 12th in the NBA draft out of Santa Clara.
Mm-hmm.
This guy can do it all right, and he was the number 12 pick out of the first round, and he's going to make an all-rookie team at the end of the year. All-rookie first, all-rookie second, doesn't matter. He's going to make one. I think he's going to have an immediate impact for the Thunder. I think he's going to get a lot of praise. That's why I added him on my fantasy team. Lock it in. Jalen Williams, all-rookie team next year. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate the people out there that send in their hot takes. Send in more. We'll be probably doing some more of those Instagram story stuff, so you can just type in your hot take and we'll read it off and react to it. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on social media, TikTok, all that stuff. We'll be releasing stuff throughout the week probably. Anything else to add?
Nothing.
Nope.
All right.
Book it.
Book it. See you guys next week.